Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Braintree Town Council meeting for Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Can you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you please remain standing and join me in a moment of silence for our men and women in uniform? Thank you very much. Please be seated. Could we please have the roll call?
Councillor Barrica?
Here.
Councillor Flaherty?
Here.
Councillor Hume?
Here.
Councillor Maglio?
Here.
Councillor Moran?
Here.
Councillor Quilty will not be attending this evening. Councillor Reynolds?
Here.
Councillor Ringus will not be attending this evening. Councillor Ryan?
Here.
Thank you.
So tonight, we're honored to have the 2024 Braintree American Little League 10A Mass State Champions with us tonight. Let's have a nice round of applause for the boys. So I would like to have head coach Mike Segley come up to the microphone, maybe say a few words about the team. Right up there, coach. And if the assistant coaches want to come up too, they could join you. Tommy King, Jim Joyce, and Chad Guthrow, if you want to come up.
Well, I didn't really have anything prepared, but I would like to just say thank you to the town for honoring the boys. It's a really great program, Braintree American Baseball. I myself played many, many years ago, so it's a very proud moment for me as a coach and a former player. But these boys worked their butts off all summer. It's a really, really difficult achievement that they achieved. It's a really tough road, and they worked really, really hard, and just really, I'm honored to be their coach, and they deserve every bit of credit that they get. So thank you for recognizing us. It's really nice.
Coach, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the season and the playoffs and the road to.
Yeah,
the
no,
title.
I mean, it was a long season. We played about 22 games. I think we won 16 games in a row. Once we kind of got started, we just kind of steamrolled everybody. But it really was a result of their hard work. We practiced every day for 2 hours, and if we weren't practicing, we had a game. And that's kind of the expectations that we set was, as an A team in Braintree American, we were going to work really hard and put the time in, and they never complained. They're just amazing group of kids, amazing group of teammates. Never any issues with any of them. We just a really an unbelievable season. And I'd like to recognize the parents, because they got to get the boys there every day, pick them up. It's a lot of work for them, and we couldn't do it without them. So thank you to all the parents as well.
Thank you, Coach. Any of the assistant coaches like to say anything? You have to come up to the microphone.
I'm not shy, just unprepared. No, I mean, just to jump on what he said, it was a long, hot summer. 2 hours a day in the heat every day was no joke. Like, they sacrificed a lot of fun. That most kids are at pools all day or at the beach all day. We got a big game. Try to, reel it in, boys. You can't be at the beach all day and then show up flat. I mean, and it wasn't that extreme, but they were really committed, and it was very impressive to see a group of boys this young dedicate themselves to the game and each other, because the goals we had set were to get to districts, and that was one bar we set. And once that was in sight, we went regionals, and then sectionals, then regionals. And, we did the best we could, and they really just put in a tremendous effort. And he's right, these parents, there's a few of them, they were like, really? 2 hours practice day, it's 95, can we do something? You know, can we just take a day off? And it's like, we can, but, you know, it's also an example of how if you have a goal and you set goals, you just have to stick to it, you know? We all get up and go to work every day, you know, enjoy this time to be able to get up and work at a game you get to play. And if they're fortunate enough to go into high school and play, or even college and play, if you get to put a uniform on into your late teens, early 20s, it's because of the work ethic they showed. So, you know, hats off to them and the moms and dads who got them there every day. It wasn't, it's not easy. It wasn't easy, but they made it look easy, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of sweat, a little yelling, some tears, but we got through it. They're tough kids, and they're smart little boys, and they're a good group of boys, and they're really close. So it was a lot of fun. And again, we thank you guys for recognizing that, you know. It's been quite the tour for us over the last few months, but it was great. It was a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Any of the other assistant coaches like to say anything?
Usually there's nothing left to say after Tommy, but no, he's great. I'd say the one thing, being around this game for so long, the characteristic that I think is most successful is being mentally tough. And for 10 years old, these guys, day in and day out, they were so mentally tough. You know, if they got behind, they picked each other up. I think that was the biggest thing to our success. So,
Thank you.
Just one last thing. I want to thank these three guys because they don't get all the recognition that they deserve, but they put in so much time and effort, and we wouldn't be where we were without these three. So, thank you guys.
Thank you, coaches. Thank you. I'd open it up to the counselors and ask if anybody wanted to say a few words. Counselor Hume.
Thank you, Mr. President. Coaches, great job. 10 years old to be a state championship, that's really impressive. And as your coaches said, the hard work and your dedication, it's no easy task because the competition out there now has grown immensely since my kids were in school. But I remember a day when Braintree High boys were state championships. So I think you're going to be here in our future at the high school level. If you're showing this level of dedication and talent this early age, there's a lot more championships in your future. So congratulations to all of you. I know summer is fun, and it was a hot summer, so people were in pools. So for you to show up at practice every day, that means a lot, especially at that age, because most kids just want to go out and have fun and do the right thing. Not do the right thing. Get ahead of myself. You did the right thing by showing up to practice because, as your coach said, you set a goal and you stuck to it. So great job, Braintree. So proud of you. And to the coaches, you volunteer your time, and so your commitment to this team it says a lot. So thank you, and to the parents getting them there, because obviously you're not driving. So it's a big commitment to everybody. And I've said this before, but this is one of the best things we get to do is recognize, the youth in our community. You have a lot, with schoolwork and, like I said, summer. So well done. Great job. Congratulations to all of you.
Councilor Flaherty.
Thank you. So it's lovely to see you here today, and congratulations on your fantastic season. At the end of any season, whatever kind of season it is, it's worth taking a little time and thinking about what went right and maybe what didn't. And you guys had a great season, the most winningest season. So when you think about that, I think what I would want you to take home from that is just you worked hard, every day. I can't believe you were there every day for 2 hours. That's a lot of time. And sometimes I bet those 2 hours went by immediately, and you couldn't even believe it was done, and it was already time to go home. And sometimes I bet there were times where you were like, he wants me to throw the ball again? What? I've already thrown it. But sometimes work is fun. And sometimes work is work. But when you get to your goal and you meet it the way you guys did, that's a great time to think about like all the things that you put in to make that happen for yourself. And I think that you really deserve to congratulate yourself on the perseverance that it took to get through the parts of the work that weren't always the most fun parts, but you did it anyway because it mattered to you and to your team. So congratulations.
Council Reynolds?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say congratulations to you players. A tremendous achievement, something that you'll carry with for the rest of your life, and a demonstration that will show you that when you put in the focus, you put in the hard work, you put in the dedication and determination, you're going to get the results that you want. So don't ever forget, teamwork is going to be really great in every aspect of your life. I want to also thank the coaches. Great job in teaching these young men the right principles and traits of what it means to be a good ball player and a good kid and a good citizen. And obviously, that all started with your parents. So thank you very much, parents.
Council Moran?
Thank you, Mr. President. As a former director of Braintree American for 13 years and a coach there, I played in Braintree American before it was called Braintree American, back when it was South Braintree Little League. You know, it's one of the best places that I've spent my life. It's great seeing kids succeed there. Congratulations to the kids. Winning a state championship's an amazing thing. But really, congratulations to the parents, because I coached a kid and I had a kid in travel for like 5 straight years. You screw up your vacations, your days at the beach are gone. If you have a pool, it's not a good investment. So, you know, your life becomes travel baseball. You never get these days back. Enjoy them when you have them, because you're going to miss them when they're 13, you know, when they're gone. It's Little League baseball is one of the best things going, and Braintree American does it better than most. I think they do it better than anyone in the state, and you guys help prove it. So congratulations, and see you next year.
I just want to echo some of the comments that my fellow counselors have made. I look out at these boys in their Braintree blue, and they're the state champions from Braintree American Little League, and they, you know, worked so hard this summer. And I think back to the heat waves we had this summer when it was like 90 in the 90s for like 2 weeks in a row, and to think you were out there playing ball and practicing, but all that hard work paid off, and you're the champions, and it's something that you can have with you the rest of your life, and it's such a great thing to learn at a young age, that if you work hard, you can do anything, and if you play as a team, you can do anything. So, you know, someone told me a long, long time ago, Braintree's a baseball town, and to see you boys here tonight in your Braintree blue, I'm so happy for you, and congratulations, guys. So what we're going to do is the councils are all going to come on this side of the table. We have recognition awards for the coaches and the players. We're going to call their name. They're going to come up. We're going to, all the counselors want to shake your hand and congratulate you. And then after we're done with that, I think all the coaches and ball players and the counselors will go over in front of the stage, and we'll take a couple of pictures. And then we'll try to like wrap things up, and we're going to continue with our meeting after that. So everybody could please join me.
No, you do it. No. No, you do it, you do it.
Hello. Okay, we're going to start off with Brandon Deep. Brandon, congratulations. Henry Goff. Just stand right over here. Henry, congratulations. Patrick Campbell. Good job, Patrick. Theo King. Theo, congratulations. Mason Franzosa. Mason, congratulations. Sam Keegley. Congratulations. Caleb Parker. Caleb, congratulations. Cole Gray. Way to go, Cole. Murphy Larkin. Way to go, Murph. Teddy Kendrick. Great job, Teddy. Harrison Guthrow. Great job, Harrison. Colton Joyce. Colton. Yep. Okay, now we're going to do the coaches. Mike Segley. Mike, congratulations. Yeah, absolutely. Jim Joyce. Jim, congratulations. Absolutely. Chad Guthrow. Chad, thanks, Coach. Tommy King. These kids are good, huh? Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So why don't we all head over in front of the stage, and we're going to take a couple of photos, and the parents and everybody that wants to take a picture can get right up and take a picture. Yep. All right, we have a motion for a 5-minute recess. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous. 5-minute recess. Anybody here? Okay, we're going to reconvene the Braintree Town Council meeting for Tuesday, October 15th. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We do not, well, actually, let me go back with this. Do any other councilors have any other announcements? Councilor Hume.
I do. 1 second while I pull it up. Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Mayor Aaron Joyce and the Braintree Recreation Department are holding a trunk or treat. I believe this is the second annual trunk or treat. It will be at Town Hall this year. Last year it was held at Braintree High. So it's going to be Saturday, November 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. This is a family day event. It is free to participate. To register, you can contact the Braintree Recreation Department or email ehume, H-U-M-E, at braintreema.gov to register your trunk. But for participants, it's free. You need to register. So if you want to show up and trick or treat and come around and enjoy all the trunks, that's free. But register your trunk. It's a great family fun day. Beautiful weather last year. Huge turnout. Lots of fun. So looking forward to that again this year. Thank you, Mayor Joyce and the Rec Department for hosting that again.
Thank you. Council Baraka.
Thank you very much, President Ryan. Next announcement, there will be a flu clinic held here tomorrow, Wednesday, October 16th at Town Hall, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please bring your insurance card, but this clinic is going to be offered to adults age 18 and older and students accompanied with a parent or a guardian in grades 5 through 12 are also eligible to get their flu shot. So don't forget, again, it's tomorrow, 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock for a free flu shot. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements by councilors? Okay. The next item on the agenda is old business 23080, the mayor CPC appropriation, request for appropriation, fire station, historic restoration, or take up any action related thereto. This requires us to continue the public hearing until December 3rd, 2024. So do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Is there a motion to continue the public hearing for order 23080 to December 3rd, 2024 at 7:30 p.m.?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 24034 Braintree Property Associates Limited Partnership SSP 131 Lakeside LLC SSP 135 Lakeside LLC Section 135612 zoning map and zoning ordinance text amendment, creation of a PUD district known as Mixed Use Planning Unit Development District, or take up any action related thereto. The public hearing is going to be continued to November 19th, 2024 without discussion or testimony. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved, Mr. President.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. We have a motion to continue the public hearing to November 19th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. The next item on the agenda is 24053, Mayor authorization for cost of final settlement of Whitechapel versus the Town of Braintree et al., or take up any action related thereto. This requires a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved, Mr. President.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. I'm going to refer to Councilor Baraka, Chairwoman of the Committee on Ways and Means, for a recommendation for Order 24053.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Committee of Ways and Means met on October 9th. We had a very robust discussion, and I'm sure the committee members will go into some of that this evening. But we are sending this to the council with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Okay, would the mayor like to speak on this? Good evening.
Good evening, councilors. Thank you, President Ryan. I'm here this evening to speak to the matter of the settlement costs for the Weichel case, as I had provided in a memo, but I will paraphrase it for the public and for context of the conversation. As you are aware, on September 19th, the town of Braintree reached a settlement agreement in principle in the matter of Frederick Weichel versus the town of Braintree. This is a case that dates back to the 1980s, where Mr. Weichel was found to be wrongfully imprisoned for an alleged murder that happened allegedly by him, but was later found to be evidence that the town provided at a later date that allowed Mr. Weichel to be free. He served more than 36 years in prison and lost most of his adult life as a result of his conviction. Following Mr. Weichel's release, he had filed lawsuits against the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the town of Braintree. We saw in 2022 that the Commonwealth, in their trial with Mr. Weichel, it was a jury trial, and the jury trial awarded Mr. Weichel $33 million. As we had discussed in Ways and Means, the state does have a limited liability protection cap at $1 million, the same which does not apply to the town of Braintree. So, going into the, stepping into this case, the town had been working on it since 2020. So for several years, when I assumed office, it was an immediate decision to get caught up to speed and to decide whether or not we might want to enter into settlement discussions or to go to trial. In sort of evaluating that and listening to our defense counsel, we were strongly advised to pursue settlement discussions with Mr. Weichel just based on what had happened with the state trial, and given the fact that he hadn't been able to really recoup any of the $33 million that he was awarded in that trial. So we did, simultaneously to making a decision to enter into settlement talks with Mr. Weichel, also brought on counsel that specialized in insurance recovery. That was not something that the town was pursuing prior to my administration. So after years of the casework that preceded my administration and legal consultation and 2 lengthy mediation dates, this summer we did settle with Mr. Weichel for the $14.9 million. Certainly cognizant of just the increasing number of wrongful conviction cases and the very large jury settlements that are being awarded when these do go to trial. We had been, leading up to our mediation date in September, we had, Mr. Weichel's lawyer had won a significant case in Chicago for $50 million for 10 years of wrongful imprisonment. So just facing what likely would have been an incredibly high financial risk to go to trial on this, we sought to come to terms with Mr. Weichel. And, I think this is a very significant cost that the town's going to have to pay. Certainly want Mr. Weichel to be compensated for that, but the reality is that it is going to be significant for the town, and especially given all the budget conversations that we've been having, especially in light of our Prop 2.5 override. This is something that we're going to continue to talk about the impact over the next several years. But we are continuing to work with our insurance counsel and anticipating that we will have further insurance recovery payments. We do believe that that sort of the coverage of our insurers, it would be appropriate that they would be able to we would be able to recover from our insurance companies, but we're still working on that. To date, we've received net $3 million in proceeds, so that is this evening while we are looking to appropriate the sum of $11.9 million from the $14.9. We are taking into consideration the $3 million of net insurance proceeds that we've already secured. Tonight's vote will allow us to seek approval from the Commonwealth's Municipal Finance Oversight Board. So we talked about this in Ways and Means, but essentially we have to get special permission to borrow for this settlement from the state, and then their default timeline in which you can borrow for something like this is 1 year. So we clearly want to try to extend that. So in order to get permission to borrow for this settlement, and then also to hopefully extend the terms of the settlement, the payback, we need to go before the Municipal Finance Oversight Board. So I think worst, sort of the most we would anticipate paying is the 11.9 million. But again, we are still working with recovering insurance from some of our carriers that we have not been able to settle with yet. So hopefully this is, sort of the worst case scenario, is that we would have to borrow for the entire 11.9. But as we continue to work with the insurers and finalize the borrowing after going before the Municipal Finance Oversight Board, the exact number that we end up borrowing and the timeline of that is something we will be working through over the next couple months. And the motion does sort of, through the advisement of our financial team, which includes people who help financial planning for the town, recommendations in the wording of this that gives us flexibility to hopefully have the best set of borrowing circumstances and timelines so that we can minimize this to the greatest extent that we can, its impact to our operating budget and any potential credit rating issues that this might provide for. So happy to answer any questions. I have tonight with us Director Esmond, who can maybe answer any technical questions, and also Carolyn Murray, who's here with KP Law, can speak to the legal side of this for any questions there may be.
Any questions, comments from the council? Council Baraka?
Thank you, President Ryan. I just do want to publicly acknowledge and thank my colleagues on the Ways and Means Committee for their thoughtful and thorough work on this matter. As I intimated with the recommendation, we spent a long time really questioning, turning over all the options we have to pay this settlement. It is obviously an unforeseen expense that we did not expect. And after, the thorough vetting of the committee, I am confident that this is the best option we have to address the situation, and also to, right a wrong that we did not expect. And I want to also mention, the committee had prepared a resolution, which I think we'll speak to later this evening as well, to work through and address some of the systemic challenges that the mayor alluded to. But more importantly, I also want to recognize, from a human standpoint, that Mr. Weichel and his family were indelibly harmed by failures of the justice system, and he was falsely accused and then convicted of a horrific crime he did not commit, and then suffered the indignity of incarceration for more than 3 decades. So while this is an unanticipated expense for the community, there is no price that can be put on a human life. And I am hopeful that with this compensation, Mr. Weichel and his family can find a path to peace, and that as we work through this as a community, we can come together to also find a path forward for our town's finances. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the council? Council Reynolds?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank the mayor in keeping the council fully apprised of the legal settlement negotiations, for including the council and deliberating on what would be the best course of action for the town of Braintree. I think that was a good move, and that all of us are in this together. And it's something, as the mayor pointed out, that had happened back in the 1980s, which seems like history, a long, long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. But still, I think that every solution that was reviewed wasn't going to be easy on the town of Braintree. And I think the ultimate solution was the best possible solution from Braintree's perspective to protect our future, to lessen the hit that we are taking as a result of having to make Mr. Weichel whole for wrongful imprisonment. I want to thank also the town finance director, Mr. Esmond, who did a fantastic job in pursuing options and bringing in consultants to reaching out to other communities to try to find ideas and solutions that perhaps weren't as apparent to us as we were trying to struggle through this. So I think he deserves a lion's share of the credit here, along with the town's legal counsel, Copeland and Page, so that, you know, Carolyn Murray has proven once again why she is a legal mind that is in demand, because her negotiations and also her collaboration with other lawyers who are more specialty type of legal advisors in the field of how can Braintree recoup its losses through the insurance settlements, which is a really muddy kind of situation. So I just want to say thank you to all those who have been involved, and to the fellow council members in our collaboration in trying to find what's best for Braintree and how we can ease this burden on our community. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Council Maglio?
Thank you. I would like to underscore what my colleagues have said, and also just comment myself on the fact that as a brand new mayor, you were staring at a town's budget that was in ruins, and a $33 million lawsuit or judgment that must have been terrifying. I appreciate your very steady approach. I also appreciate the team that you assembled in order to guide this process through. I think what's really significant, too, is that you took a very compassionate and human approach, and the fact that you sat down with Mr. Weichel and you were very much a part of those negotiations and that mediation, and a settlement of $33 million ended up becoming $14.9 million. I think that that is really valuable, because not only did you value Mr. Weichel and recognize the time that the part of his life that he didn't get to live, but you also were able to protect the interest of the town in as best a way as you could. And I believe that your decisions led us to, your decisions and everyone's expertise led us to the best possible outcome that we could have. It's not a good outcome for anyone, but it's done, hopefully, and we can move on to more recovery. And I just want to thank you and your team for everything you did.
Thank you.
Council Moran?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to echo the comments of my fellow councilors. I think, you know, Mayor, you came in to a situation where you were aware that, you know, when you were seeking election, you were aware that the budget was going to be a challenge. I think subsequent to you taking office, you were informed of this suit's existence and the challenge that it posed. It took months of diligence by you and legal counsel to get negotiations to a point where we weren't going to trial, and we weren't going to face the risk of you know, $33 million is what this individual won in his litigation against the state or against the Commonwealth. Individual won against a municipality for a much shorter sentence in another jurisdiction, $50 million. So we were at great risk. You mitigated that risk in every way that was possible for you to do. You engaged personally in negotiations, which is very rare for an elected leader. You began the pursuit of insurance coverage that wasn't being pursued prior to you taking office. And you did a great job of managing this issue and bringing it to where it is today, which is a bitter pill for everyone. And as far as Carolyn Murray, I've said it before, you saved this town millions in this case. with your bringing, your knowledge of finding the right counsel to chase the insurance companies and make sure that they do what they were paid to do year after year after year for 4 decades. And now they're balking, and we have to sue them to get them to do what they're supposed to do. It's galling to me. A lot of this is galling to me, but the reality is that this settlement is in the best interest of the town. It is a burden that is undeniable for the town to assume, and in ways that I think is due to a statute that is unfair. And we'll have a time and a place to address that later. I've been informed that there's been a request to hold off on the resolution this evening so that it can be fine-tuned to meet the concerns of Insurance Council, which there's no hurry. We can get this right, and we can put the resolution later. That's fine. But this isn't something that anyone is taking lightly. We had a very detailed conversation on this and discussion on this at Ways and Means. We've looked at every avenue possible, and I want to commend everyone involved in your office and in the town solicitor's office and KP Law in doing the job that they've done for the town.
Would any other councilors, Councilor Flaherty?
Thank you. When Mr. Weichel was incarcerated for a crime that he did not commit, he lost not only the life that he was living, but also all of the thousand possibilities for what his life might have been. It's really an unpayable debt. But through the courts, Braintree has been asked to compensate financially, and so we will do that. But I have to be emphatic that this is not going to be easy for us to do. Coming on the heels of an override that we just passed to shore up our budget to be able to support the services that our residents count on, this new financial obligation comes as a really heavy blow. So I hope that our insurers will see their way to support Braintree after all the many years that we have faithfully paid for their coverage for exactly situations like this. And I hope that the state will find a way to extend support to us, especially considering that the state has extended legal protection to itself in cases like this without extending the same protection to municipalities and their much, much smaller budgets. So I will support this action because I believe that it is the most just, most right thing that we can do in this situation, even though it is a pale compensation for Mr. Weichel's loss.
Thank you. Any other councilors like to speak? Mayor Joyce, I have one question too. You briefly mentioned, where we stand with the our insurance companies. Is that as in depth that you want to get where we are at this point with any remaining insurance companies that we're dealing with?
Yeah, I can provide a little bit of just maybe expanded context. And this does, Councilor Baraka, you had sent over a couple questions. So maybe I'll just touch base on the answers to those just to, I guess, put it on the public record and then I can forward it along. So one of the questions that we had received through Councilor Baraka this morning was how many insurers are we currently trying to recoup funds from? The mayor's memo had referenced in this motion at least 2. So we are currently trying to recover insurance proceeds from 2 groups of insurers, major insurers and minor insurers. For major insurers, we are trying to recover from Maya, 15 years worth of coverage, and National Casualty Company, 6 years of coverage. For minor insurers, we are trying to recover from Wellfleet, which has 3 years of coverage with low limits, Calvert, which has 1 year of coverage, and United National, which is 2 years of excess coverage, and we may not reach their layer of coverage. So there's some nuances with the technical number of insurers, but that's broad picture where we stand with the insurers. The second question posed by Councilor Barica was why wasn't or isn't a wrongful conviction covered as part of our insurance coverage? We do believe that it is covered, but in order to recover, we need to establish that Mr. Weichel would have been able to show constitutional violations during the relevant insurer's policy period, as well as bodily injury or personal injury during the relevant period. And the insurers have not conceded that those things happened, but we're working on persuading them otherwise. And then the third question, which I think is relevant and has context, happy to share, who negotiates the insurance contracts? I'm assuming this is on the town side. So the policies that we are evaluating were in place from the time of the incident in 1980 through 2017 when Mr. Weichel was exonerated. And typically the town will use insurance brokers with relevant experience to identify insurers that are offering the desired coverage, so in this case, law enforcement liability coverage, and to obtain good coverage terms at affordable prices. So the brokers help us with that. The availability and quality of coverage varied from year to year, all throughout the timeline of his imprisonment. So there are wide variations in the terms of coverage and the amount of coverage depending on the particular year. So there's a lot of layers to the different types of insurance recovery that we're seeking, which is why it's kind of hard to pinpoint what we would expect. I think in Ways and Means we had presented, recovering upwards of $5 million additional dollars, down to a low recovery limit of maybe additional $2 million. So we're not really quite sure where we will land, but to think simply, we've recovered 3. If we recover no more, 11.9 would be sort of the worst case scenario. So that's what we're going to plan for, and then hopefully be able to bring that number down with further recovery.
Thank you. I'd like to just echo the comments from my fellow councilors I really appreciate the way you have handled this, Mayor Joyce, since you became mayor earlier this year, and you've had several big challenges, and I think you've done a great job rising to handle them in the way that you handled this matter and kept us informed. And I think you did a great job, and I think you put together a great team to make sure that we would be in the best position we could be. And as you previously stated, there are no winners in this case, but we need to look out for the best interests of the town of Braintree, and I think you've really done a great job doing that, so thank you very much. Okay. Would any other councilor members like to say anything? Would any other members of the mayor's staff, the mayor, like to say anything? Okay, hearing none. Is there anyone from the general public that would wish to speak on order 24053? Come on up to the microphone, sir. If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Bill Spain. I live at 170 Evergreen Ave. So first I'd like to say that I'm a happy resident. I love living in Braintree. I've been here almost 10 years, and it's such a gift. So I want to thank all of you for your time and your effort in making this place such a great place. I had some other questions that the mayor did answer, but the one now that sits with me heavily is there's probably another case out there. This isn't the only one. What I'm concerned about is that the insurance people who we're negotiating with probably won't cover us. And I think that in light of that, we need to take fast action and have, hopefully, the state give us some relief and understanding what we're up against and have a limit like they have. But I want to make sure that we're not feeling comfortable with the fact that we're getting to fix this one problem when I almost guarantee there's others. Freddie Weichel was 1980. There's been a lot of cases since then. And I wanted to make sure that we're all wide-eyed about that and about the fact that these insurance companies are probably going to drop us after they settle. And that's what I'm most worried about. I think that this case has been handled really well. I'm originally from South Boston. I know Freddie, so I'm really happy that he's getting some just reward for his time spent in prison. But back to our town, I think we need to protect our town and make sure that we're aware of what can happen. And that's what my biggest concern was. That's why I'm here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we're going to be talking about a resolution that we're going to be submitting to ask the state to give us the same coverage that they have. So we're going to be talking about that in a minute. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to talk on this matter, or any other member of the general public that would like to talk on this matter? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to close the public hearing for Order 24053?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Council Baraka, could you read the motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Motion to see if the town of Braintree will appropriate the sum of $11,900,000 to pay the costs of a final settlement in the matter of Frederick Weichel versus Town of Braintree et al., number 1:20-CV-11456-IT, and Frederick Weichel versus Town of Braintree et al., number 122-CV-12126-IT, D, Mass., relating to the incarceration of Frederick Weichel and claims he asserted against the town and town officials, including the payment of all costs incidental or related thereto, which settlement shall contain in such terms as mayor, upon the advice of town solicitor, shall determine to be in the best interest of the town. And to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 7(3), or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. In connection with the borrowing approved by this order, the town is authorized to seek the approval of the Commonwealth's Municipal Finance Oversight Board to, 1, amortize such borrowing over a term in excess of 1 year, as permitted by General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 7(3), and 2, to qualify under General Law, Chapter 44A, any bonds or notes authorized by this order, and any bonds or notes of the town that have been authorized but not yet issued as of the date of the adoption of this order. The amount authorized to be borrowed by this order shall be reduced to the extent of contributions received by the town from its insurance carriers in connection with this matter.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is under new business. It's a resolution 02324, Council Baraka and Council Moran, resolution, Weichel Council resolution, or take up any action related thereto. I'm going to refer to Council Baraka to speak on this, and Council Moran, if you would like to speak on it as well. So, Council Baraka.
Thank you very much, President Ryan. As you alluded to, the Committee of Ways and Means put forth a resolution in the power that we have to persuade our legislature to provide cities and towns with the same protections that it grants itself, and also to create a compensation fund for individuals who are erroneously and unlawfully convicted. So I want to thank the committee members for taking this up wholeheartedly, and also thank Councilor Moran, who put pen to paper and wrote the resolution itself. And Councilor Moran, if I may, I don't know if he has anything to add.
Council Moran.
Thank you, Madam Chair of the Ways and Means and Mr. President. I would defer at this point to Attorney Murray. I believe there's a request to table this to another evening so that the language could be fine-tuned because of concerns of council.
Good evening, Council Murray.
Thank you, members of the council, and thank you for your very kind words earlier, but, really this was a very much a group effort. And I've got to say, it was also very gratifying to get such support from the council, because this is not something that councilors typically want to approve. You'd rather be dealing with more baseball teams than these matters. So yes, so my apologies for sort of the last minute request from our insurance coverage council. I don't, I've already seen the resolution and I offered some comments to it, and I don't see any particular legal issue with it. I think there's just a concern that as we are in some negotiations with two insurers, does this somehow or other jeopardize perhaps our chances at recovery if they start to think that maybe there's another solution out there or a deeper pocket in the form of the state. So I'm by no means, as I've said to the Ways and Means Committee, I think we should pursue every legislative option or every option that we could even possibly conceive to make sure this doesn't happen to Braintree again, but also for other communities too. But I would just respectfully ask if we could just pause on this and perhaps bring it back in 2 weeks after council feels a little more comfortable with the language.
Thank you.
At this time?
So we have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to table and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. This matter's been tabled. I did want to say thank you to Council Moran, but we tabled the motion, but thank you anyway for all the hard work. So the next matter on the agenda is to refer items to the respective committees. Do we have a motion?
Motion to move all remaining items under new business to their respective committees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. So our next meeting will be on Wednesday, November 6th, and it's going to be on a Wednesday because the election is on Tuesday, November 5th. So we will be meeting the day after election because people will be voting that day. So I want to thank Bill Needham and Jerry Comic for televising our meeting tonight with our BCAM. And with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. We're now adjourned.